Uh, see, I love listening to stories like that. Um, so I
Thank
know that yeah, Mike, you guys, I know your team has been creating videos left and right. You've got tons of videos under your belt. Have you, do you have any hard lessons that you've learned that you could share with me and with your audience? I'd love to hear some of these.
Yeah, I think the hardest lesson learned was for us to really now strive to make quote unquote informational videos, make the most informational video we possibly can. Um, a video should almost be pure information, and everything else should and could be, wrapped around that video in tons of different ways. What I mean is we have the tendency to want to include in the video itself web links,
Oh,
resources, dates, screenshots of websites, because what's going to change, right? I mean, the veteran administration is always going to be the veteran administration, and those links are always going to work, right? So, but they don't, and
yeah.
when those links don't work anymore, or a website completely has a redesign, it doesn't look right, and you have to replace the video. And when you replace a video, it's a ton of work, and then it messes up the views that you have, and you just don't want to replace a video because the things in it are no longer there. So if you
Mhm.
could just concentrate on pulling those out. And so if it's a course, you have plenty of places to put all of your resources and links and things like that in a page that follows the video or comes before the video. If you're building informational content for social media, you could put all of those resources and links and things in the description, or you can tag it, or you could use the comments to get people over to sites that you want them to go to, but you really don't want to put it inside the video. I think a purely informational video, it'll stay relevant longer, and it's a wider audience. I mean, this is sort of a simplistic or simple example, but if a teacher was going to make a video, a math teacher of the Pythagorean theorem, and he or she made it to for their ninth grade class, and they were going to apply it to a bridge in their city, then that's your audience, right? And that video wouldn't be really useful in anything else. But if you pull those things out, if you pulled out that it was for your ninth grade class and it was for this bridge, and it was just about the Pythagorean theorem, then your audience widens to however many people might find this video useful. And another teacher can simply take the video, put it into their course, and use their city's bridge for their group. And you could wrap all that around an informational video instead of putting it in a video. So that's been a sort of a hard lesson for us, because we've had to adjust a lot of videos, and there's plenty of places to have conversations and put resources in and have other types of things. They just don't have to necessarily be in the video itself. Another thing, websites and URLs in videos, people aren't going to remember to
Yeah.
go. They're not going to remember. They can't click on it, and they're not going to remember. So
Hmm.
why put them in there? That's the hardest lesson I think we've learned.
Yeah, that's really fascinating to me too. I see that all the time, even
Right.
in like meetings where someone has a PowerPoint presentation that I'm never going to see after this. There's a URL at the end of something.
Yeah.
Like it's even underlined. It's a hyperlink. If
Right.
I was using their computer, I could click on it.
Mhm.
But like, no, yeah, those actionable or call to action items don't really belong in a video.
Right.
You're right about that. Cool. How many videos do you think you've had to re-edit simply for that kind of content? Do you have an estimate on that? It must be
So
countless man hours.
we've created about 500 videos at the CVTI,
Ooh.
but we've probably had to change, maybe a dozen or two. So 2 dozen doesn't seem like a lot of videos. It is,
It is,
because
yeah.
If Glenn was here, he would tell you, you know, he wouldn't say how hard it is, but it's a lot of work
Glenn's
for it.
very humble. Yeah.
It's a lot of work, and
Yeah.
you know, for what? To change a URL? We just got we figured out, you know, let's and even with we found with even using words like veteran in our videos, we're building a course for veterans, but why if we took the word veteran out of the video, this video might help other people because it's informational. We're putting the video into a course for veterans, and we're wrapping around that video all the resources and discussion prompts a veteran would need. But without calling veterans specifically in the video, we might be able to use it somewhere else. And that's been our goal, to be able, if these concepts are good for the world, and they're correct and they're informational and they can help people, and see if we could just get other people to use them. And I think it's a better way of creating content videos.
Well, and you know what's really fascinating about that too is how the spirit of that kind of modular portable design is rooted in a similar uh, desire to make your content, if you're focusing specifically on digital accessibility, making your content work for as broad an audience as possible. And I mean, that benefits everybody. Not that you necessarily want to make something ultra generic and like lose the point, but
Right.
being able to make content that works for multiple audiences. I mean, yeah, that ultimately is beneficial, especially high effort uh, content like videos.
Mhm.
Um, that if you can contextually make them applicable to your audience with surrounding text and surrounding call to action items, and still have that content be meaningful in that video contextually, if it all works together and it's portable and separate, you can separate it. That's, I think it's cool that, again, that relates back to making it work for many audiences and lots of different users.
Yeah, my goal really is, if I could keep the videos informational, then as I create a course with all other types of components, I could make it as unique a course as I possibly can make it, if all those things are wrapping around the videos and not in the videos. We can make a course that adheres to the smallest demographic possible, a certain group of people that are interested in this, with all the supplementary materials along with the informational videos. So that's always been my goal, and that's probably been the hardest lesson to learn.